What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles submitted to the channel by Boohoo Stallion, who's running an ABB style team in the Open Great League with both Arcticbax and Baxcalibur, with Tapu Fini in the lead. Let me know in the comments if you've managed to catch a Frigibax in the wild yet, because it's still a very rare spawn. Before we get into the question of the day, I want to remind everyone that this weekend is the Go Battle weekend, so of course I'm running the Battle of Spice competition. You can find out more about the competition and submit your entry by following the link in the description. But please do make sure you click on the correct link, as there is also a link for the regular battle submissions. I'll probably close the submissions form on Tuesday just to give everyone a chance to get their battles uploaded, but with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. Which evolution line with a relatively unique type combination do you like to run in an ABB style team, like the team being featured in this video? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle, we lead Tapu Fini into Quagsire, a fairly neutral lead matchup, and with an ABB style team, typically you do want to swap out of these lead matchups that are very neutral, because if the opponent has a hard response to your backline and you don't bait it out, then you are just going to be in a lot of pain in the end game. We're going to go for a Moonblast here, full sending it, and the opponent does respect the damage, which is unfortunate. They also landed a Stone Edge, so now a Mud Bomb should be enough damage to take us out, but they actually full send a second Stone Edge there. Quite an interesting play by the opponent, but now we come in with the Arcticbax. We're going to let this move go through, and the opponent does just go for a Mud Bomb this time around, so kind of strange the charge moves that are being thrown, but we're now going to shield this up. They go for another Mud Bomb, grabbing our first shield here. We do get the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent comes in with a Medicham, so this is an example of a Pokemon we probably would have liked to bait out and then come back in with our Tapu Fini to beat, but we've got quite a significant energy advantage, so we make it to the Avalanche and the Dragon Claw, and we actually snipe with a few Dragon Breaths from our Baxcalibur, and they've got a Venusaur in the back, so this is a really good matchup. We can safely shield this charge move, probably going to be a Frenzy Plant bait. It is, but it doesn't matter. By the time we make it to back-to-back Dragon Claws, we'll have dealt enough Dragon Breath damage to take them out with just a single Dragon Claw here. You can see they're nearly in the red health already, and Dragon Claw from this range takes out the Venusaur, and we do take that game there. So into the next game, we see Tapu Fini into Dugong, so not really the worst matchup, but not the best matchup either. Both fast moves from both Pokemon are going to be resisted. They do get to the charge move a little bit faster here, as they do go for a Drill Run, which is neutral damage. We do take that fairly comfortably. Tapu Fini, not quite as bulky as something like Azumarill with the same typing, but it's still got a decent amount of bulk here. We full send the Moonblast. We do actually get the attack drop there, which is really nice for us. And we're going to let this move go through, which is just an Icy Wind. And now we should barely be able to outpace them to the Moonblast here before they make it to another charge move. And Moonblast does get the Dugong fairly low, and once again we're going to let the Tapu Fini go down. We have seen an Ice type in the lead, so maybe they don't have too many strong responses to Dragon types in the back, but let's see. We get the Dragon Breath farm down, and the opponent comes in with a Drapion, so not a great response to a Dragon type. We can probably let this go through, but we will shield the first one. The opponent goes for a Crunch, no debuff to our defense, and we farm to the back-to-back Avalanches. I really like this play here, and the Avalanche does take out the Drapion there, and they come in with a Charger Bug, and this is a very comfortable matchup for us. We do resist the Volt Switch damage. Charger Bug, like the Arcticbax, is going to be a little bit bulkier than its evolution here, so the opponent goes for a Discharge. Definitely not the play there. I'm not sure why they'd go for Discharge over X-Scissor. Even if they're running Crunch, you probably want to go for Crunch there instead, but we're able to take them out with the Avalanche and one more Dragon Breath and take that game. Do note that these battles were sent in from the previous Great League rotation, so it might just be that opponents don't really have a clue what these Pokemon are, because they are new, they're very rare. A lot of people probably wouldn't have seen a Frigibax in the wild at this point, so we're going to go for a Surf here into the Frostlass in the lead matchup, and we actually swap out here, so finally swapping out of this lead matchup, although this probably isn't the best example because Tapu Fini has actually a pretty good lead up against that Frostlass, but here we should be able to fully Dragon Breath, farm them all the way down, and we do exactly that. Now the opponent's going to come in with their Charizard, so actually I think they did lead with the Charizard, so maybe that's a mistake on my end. I just wasn't quite paying attention to the battles, but we bait with a Dragon Claw. Now we go for the Avalanche, and Avalanche will be taking out the Charizard, and they've got a Trevenant in the back. Can we make it to an Avalanche? It doesn't look like it, and we actually don't even get off the Dragon Claw there, which is quite strange, but we're going to come in with the Tapu Fini. Seed Bomb going to be super effective, but it doesn't quite take us out. Now we swap into the Baxcalibur. This is actually looking bad for us. They should be able to make it to the Shadow Ball here. Shadow Ball takes out the Baxcalibur, but can we make it to the Surf? Yes, we can, just in time. And this Surf will be enough damage to take out the Trevenant, and we're able to take that game. But that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I'm surprised Arcticbax didn't make it to that Dragon Claw. But into the next game, we see a Serperior in the lead. Bad lead, so we swap into the Baxcalibur, or sorry, the Arcticbax here. I'm going to go for an Avalanche straight away. Avalanche will be shielded by the Shadow Steelix there. They definitely would live that, and we're going to make it to a Dragon Claw as well. This isn't going to do much damage whatsoever. But the opponent's going to double shield their Steelix, which is massive for us, because now we can come in with the Tapu Fini. We can even survive an Earthquake, and the opponent does full send the Earthquake here. Even if they go for a Breaking Swipe, we should live this, and we should be able to make it to a Surf to take out the Steelix from this range here. So I like this play here, but it kind of depends what the opponent has in the back. So we go for a Surf. Surf takes out the Steelix. We're going to swap straight away into the Baxcalibur, and we just got to hope there's not another Steel type in the back. And the opponent has a Bastiodon in the back, so we're just instantly going to surrender there. Nothing we could do, unfortunately. With 2 shields, Baxcalibur could actually take on pretty much anything in this meta, even something like a Registeel, I do believe. But unfortunately, Bastiodon is one of the only Pokemon that would just completely slaughter it, as well as a lot of Fairy types with Charm. But into the next game, the opponent save swaps into a Sableye. We're going to bank a ton of energy, but go for the Surf here, baiting with the Surf, grabbing a shield with the Surf, and making it to a second Surf. Now, the opponent should know this isn't a Moonblast, but they double shield anyways, and we swap into our Arcticbax. We should be able to live anything, even if they go for a return, but they do just go for a Foul Play. They make it to another Foul Play in time. Are we going to shield this up? No, we're actually going to fully sacrifice the Arcticbax here. Interesting play. I'm hoping with the Dragon Breath damage, we should be able to fully farm them down before they make it to the next Foul Play, but we're barely not able to do so. That's really unfortunate. They're going to go for the Foul Play, grab our final shield. They come back in with the Frost Sash. We can overfarm significantly there, going for a Dragon Claw, and this will be enough damage to take out the Frost Sash. And what does the opponent have in the back? Actually, we didn't even farm down that Sableye. We can see they've got 2 Pokemon left, so they've got a very low health Sableye in the back. Maybe saving it for a sacrificial swap, but it's not going to help them here, as we can go for the Dragon Claw, make it to a second Dragon Claw. And then possibly swapping into the Tapu Fini here to catch a Surf. But no, the opponent throws their energy. We're going to let this move go through, of course. Surf will be taking us out from this range. And now it just depends, can they make it to a Thunderbolt in time? I don't think this is enough energy for it. They go for the Surf. We do live that comfortably. And we can go for a Surf of our own into the Sableye, coming back in. And this is obviously going to take them out from about 1 HP. And we're able to take that game. So into the next game, we see Tapu Fini into Lickitung, so we should be swapping out of this matchup ideally, and we're going to swap into our Arcticbax, and we do bait out a Frost Sash. Now, up against most dragons, this will be a fairly... well, it's actually not that bad of a matchup, just because Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw really does chunk, but in this matchup, we're actually only taking neutral damage from the Ice damage from that Powder Snow, so I think we might be able to outpace them in the 2 shield scenario here, going straight for that Dragon Claw number 2. And actually, I think we can just shield this and then fully farm them down before they even make it to the next charge move. Can we get that Dragon Breath farm down? Yes, we can. And we come out with a charge move loaded as well, which is really nice for us. The opponent's going to think about what to do. They come back in with the Lickitung. We do overfarm here just a little bit, go for an Avalanche. And Avalanche is going to do a lot of damage to the very bulky Lickitung. The opponent does perfectly overfarm there, throwing just before we make it to a Dragon Claw. Body Slam's going to take us out. We now come in with the Baxcalibur. They make it to another Body Slam. This is actually going to do quite a lot of damage to the Baxcalibur, but we will be able to Dragon Breath, farm them down, and the opponent, I don't know what they had in the back, but they just concede the match there, so probably something very weak to either the Dragon or the Ice typing, and we're able to take that game. But into the next game, we see Lickitung in the lead once again. We save swap into the Baxcalibur, or sorry, the Arcticbax. I keep getting these mixed up. The opponent's going to go for an Ice Punch, which we will live because of the sub-Ice typing there. We go for the Avalanche. That does a lot of damage, but unfortunately they will be able to counter farm us down. Now I wonder if we went for the Avalanche first, maybe we could have shielded up the Ice Punch and then fully farmed them down, but here we come in with the Tapu Fini. We can sponge this damage very nicely. Psychic still actually does quite a lot there, so maybe not sponging it as well as I thought. We're now going to go for a Surf into the Lickitung, coming back in, and we're going to swap into our Arcticbax. We've still got 2 shields, so the opponent's going to throw just before we make it to the Dragon Claw once again. Very good timing, and they're going to go for a Body Slam. We are going to overfarm. They make it to another Body Slam. We're actually going to let this move go through. That does quite a lot of damage. We farm to the back-to-back Dragon Claw, so even if they do shield, we can fire off the second one straight away, but they don't, and they come in with the Mandibars. We're going to full send an Avalanche here, and this should easily grab a shield from the opponent, but our Tapu Fini is just too low. We've got basically no energy either, so unfortunately an Aerial Ace probably will take us out from this range. The opponent goes for the Aerial Ace. It actually doesn't quite take us out, but we just concede the match there. Into the next game, we see Defense Form Deoxys in the lead, so they're probably going to run Thunderbolt, but we do resist the counter damage, so bit of a tricky situation here. They actually go for a Psycho Boost, and then they dip into Lickitung, so we're going to go for a Moonblast. This will do some very nice chip damage here, gets them nearly into the yellow health, and now we come in with the Arcticbax. I think we might be able to Dragon Breath farm them all the way down, but I'm not 100% sure, so we might not take the risk here, and it looks like we won't be able to do so, so we're just going to go for a Dragon Claw, and Dragon Claw will be taking out the Lickitung. They're probably going to come back in with the Defense Form Deoxys, and we are going to go straight for the Avalanche. This will do a ton of damage to the Deoxys, so we do grab a shield from the opponent there. We're going to wait out the switch clock here, and then come back in with the Tapu Fini, I do believe here, and we are going to respect the damage. They bait with a Psycho Boost once again, and then they swap into Dunsparce. So quite a good play there, but we also swap, we catch the move onto our Baxcalibur, and it's just a Drill Run, because Drill Run is more energy efficient in neutral matchups, and now they have to throw another charge move to take us out, but unfortunately they do outpace us to that charge move. We're now going to come back in with the Tapu Fini, go for a Moonblast just before they make it to the next charge move, so very good timing here. Moonblast takes out the Dunsparce, but they come back in with the Deoxys, and they make it to another charge move, and they finally do send that Thunderbolt, taking out the Tapu Fini, and we do unfortunately lose that game. Into the next game, we see Registeel in the lead, so not a great matchup here, but honestly we are at least dealing neutral damage with the fast moves, and we can spam Surf, so probably just going to stay in this matchup, at least initially. Going to go for that Surf, and Surf will be... That was kind of weird. I think we just cropped the screen because we got a notification there. The opponent goes for a Zap Cannon. We actually don't get debuffer, which is really nice for us. The opponent then swaps, trying to catch a move onto their Gelatin. I quite like that play, but kind of unnecessary because Registeel was still in a very good position there. They go for a Shadow Ball. That does quite a lot of damage, but we can now go for a Dragon Claw. And Dragon Claw, not going to do too much up against the very bulky Gelatin. And they do make it to a Surf, and Surf should be taking us out from this range. So we let the Surf go through. We're still down a shield, and we've lost switch advantage, but we're going to come in with the Baxcalibur, and we will be able to Dragon Breath farm them all the way down. They come back in with the Registeel. We're going to go for an Avalanche, and it looks like a CMP tie as well. Avalanche is resisted. It takes out the Registeel, and they've got a Mantine in the back, so this is actually looking like a pretty good position to be in. We then swap. We catch the move on our Tapu Fini. It's just an Aerial Ace there, so, I mean, it doesn't really matter if we caught it or not, but we can now go for a Surf bait. Surf grabs the shield from the opponent, and we're in a really good position. We can probably let the next move go through as well. Aerial Ace won't take us out, and we should be able to make it at least to a Surf here. The opponent recognizing there's not a lot they can do, and they just concede the match. And into, I believe, the final battle of this video, we lead into a Medicham. Gonna stay in because we do, of course, have a pretty good matchup here. The opponent's gonna build up to the Psychic, so we will respect the damage, and they full send the Psychic there. We're gonna continue to overfarm in this matchup. The opponent swaps into a Lantern there, trying to catch the move. Nice play, but we do hold on to the energy. We come in with Baxcalibur, we resist everything. They bait with a Surf there. I mean, it's not really a bait because they need two charge moves to take us out, so it makes a lot of sense. We go for a Dragon Claw, grabbing a shield from the Lantern, and the opponent does overfarm perfectly there, throwing just before we make it to the next charge move, but we do barely live that. We make it to the Dragon Claw, and Dragon Claw from this range is not enough damage to take out the Lantern though, so they do flip switch advantage. We come in with the Arcticbax, we get the farm down, and the opponent comes in with a Galarian Stunfisk. This isn't too bad for us. We can go for an Avalanche here and probably just let the next charge move go through. Rockslide probably won't take us out from this range, but they will be able to counter farm us down with the Medicham, so I assume we're going to swap out into our Tapu Fini, but no, the opponent's staying in here. We just force them to go for another Rockslide. I quite like this play as well. Now we come in with the Tapu Fini. We've got so much loaded energy. Gonna go for a Surf. It looks like we threw on the CMP tie. I haven't been keeping track of the energy, so I might be mistaken. But now it's up against this Medicham. We're gonna full send the Moonblast straight away, and the opponent is going to let the move go through. They call the bait, and we're able to take that game. So that's gonna be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.